Surprise again! It is me. It is not Chief Meteorologist John Gum. I keep changing the font and the description, and it keeps changing it back. So you are getting me. Hi, I'm Meteorologist Tera Blake. Thanks so much for joining us here for a minute, even though it's not us, it is just me, for an update on the winter storm that we have expected here in the tri-state Saturday and Sunday. I don't know if you've been outside yet, but it is brutal. It is so cold. So that's kind of one piece of the pie, is that Arctic air. So we've had our third cold front of the week. And so that is bringing in this extremely cold air. We're waiting on a low that's going to be coming out of the west that was getting organized in the Pacific. And then it's combining with that Gulf moisture that is coming out of the Gulf and first causing issues down towards Oklahoma and Texas. And then it'll be towards us in the afternoon hours on Saturday. Really picking up though Sunday. So I wanted to show you, I just made this graphic, the timeline. It's not perfect down to the exact minute, but it gives you an idea of maybe when you want to be home if you do have plans to be out over the weekend. So on Saturday, some light snow is going to begin. Now our roads are cold enough, especially with this even bigger push of colder air. So we could have slick spots everywhere. Now crews are treating and working really hard today in preparation for this storm. And so I think minimal impacts initially because the crews are working hard. It's when the snow starts to pick up late that we really have our issues. And that is a possibility from say about 8 p.m. on. I do think more so through the overnight is when the heaviest will hit. But I would say make sure you're home by 8 o'clock so that you're not having to deal with the more extremes on the roads. And again, the snow is becoming heavy, and when snow is heavy, visibility comes down, and road crews are barely cleaning the roads before the next round is in, and you're unable to see the lines, and people are slipping and sliding because it's just really hard to keep up with very heavy, intense snow. And that's what we have predicted to last through the night into the morning hours for us on Sunday. Now we get into the afternoon on Sunday and it does lighten, but without the snow stopping, crews are going to continue to stay on the main roads. So that means the heavy snow that we have predicted is going to continue to pile up on those secondary roads, especially if not many people are out. And so we're going to have some real problems going into Monday for many, many communities. And so I think this is going to be a more long-standing event, even though the snow ends on Sunday as roads stay covered and slick. But let me show you the numbers. Everybody's wanted to know. I upped a little bit from Chief Meteorologist John Gum's numbers. There is a chance for sleet. If that happens, this is absolutely going to adjust our numbers. But I think anywhere from 8 to 12 is a possibility. Now, it's a little less to the north, where you're sitting in the 7 to 10 range, and far northwest could see even less at that 6 to 9 range. But especially for a city pointing south, we have as much as a foot possible. And what's crazy is that we are being conservative at a foot. I mean, models are showing significantly more, but we are teetering on a line where sleet is possible. I think especially farther south. I could see this happening in Bracken, Robertson, and Mason, which would heavily impact your numbers. Also make it more dangerous for driving if we get freezing rain, for example. We're just outside of that line, but those are your expected numbers, and we'll see how it all plays out. We're not sleeping. We're constantly analyzing because this is a very, very big storm, and you can see why. As far as our numbers are concerned, we don't have weather like this very often. The number one year for the biggest two-day snowfalls, sitting in that top spot, is February 4th and 5th of 1998. Maybe you remember it. Then for spot number 2, you've got January 6th and 7th of 1996. I think those two are safe. But as much as 11 inches there in 1917, 1978, 1910, we could nudge in there and make January 2025 its own special spots. Sometimes it's exciting to get this much snow, especially if you don't have to work in it. I know that John's going to be in Saturday night and Sunday night. I'm going to be in Sunday morning with meteorologist Paul Poteet. Meteorologist Eric DeBroca will be out live letting you know how it's going. We're going to let you know about those roads because it's going to be critical information if you do have to venture out. But I've got to imagine level 1, level 2 emergencies, maybe beyond, are a possibility, which is going to mean you shouldn't be on the roads, and there has to be a really, really important reason for it. But that low is still back west. So winter weather starts to take shape, as mentioned, in Oklahoma and Texas towards tonight. Now, they have an ice concern that we do not have, so thankfully avoiding that. We're mainly on the snow side of this. But you see that darker blue taking over, tapping into the Gulf moisture. That low is still outside of the tri-state significantly, but having a major impact. There's a little bit of a player that's coming in here, and I know John talked about this, that's going to rob some of our energy. I don't think it's really going to take away from our snow totals as of now, but that's something that could change. So make sure you're staying updated with the Weather Authority team. But what happens with storms, and this happens with severe weather, it happens with snowstorms, your weather maker, the energy will shift, and two competing strong storms, one will steal the energy from another, which is how all of a sudden a severe thunderstorm, shoots off to the north and it just kind of dies out farther south. It takes that energy. And so that's what's expected with the low that's riding up along the East Coast, and which is why many, many states along the eastern seaboard are going to get hammered, because it's going to just increase the power of that low that's also wrapped with a ton of moisture. But it weakens our low and then helps to decrease the snow and get this storm out of here. But we are just going to be brutally cold, so we just really don't have a chance to see any melt anytime soon. So the snow is going to be sticking around, and we're going to see piles of it in parking lots and at schools and all the things before we really get to see a good melt here. But temperatures, remember, a part of this weather story today especially. We have teens, thanks to that early morning cold front, going to feel like the single digits pretty much all throughout the day. But if you wanted a date night, you wanted to head to the grocery store, find what's left, today is the day to do it. Just bundle up. Then tomorrow morning's pretty good too. We do have some light snow. There it is, the bright white, but notice the purple by about 2-3 o'clock. This is where I'm getting my numbers. And that darker purple increases past 8-9 o'clock. The darkest purple exists through Sunday morning, which is why we have our winter storm warning from 10 a.m. Saturday through noon on Monday. But don't forget that we still have that cold too. So cold weather advisory kicks in tonight, 6 p.m. tonight through noon on Saturday for wind chills at 10 below, because the snow wasn't enough, right? Here's a quick look at your 7-day forecast. If you're thinking, all right, I want some sun back, can I play in the snow? I don't know if I'd let my kids play in the snow. I mean, 15 and 20 for the weekend, that's brutal. If you do, everything's got to be covered up, layers, hands, nothing exposed skin, and limit the time. Usually kids are pretty good. They want to head inside. Our pets will do the same. But it's not going to be fun outdoor time because it's just going to be too cold. And next week, our warmest day is 22 there, Tuesday and Wednesday. So we are full blast back into winter. Remind you, we were nearly 70 a few weeks ago. Okay, let me see if I've got any questions really quick. I will try and take a look at some of those. Thank you so much for joining me, despite it not being John. This is going to be awful, I know, Shelly, I'm sorry. As we prepare for the snowstorm, yes, I love it. I love the Bible verse, the Psalm. Anthony, okay. And you're welcome, Shelly. Yeah, we are going to be here around the clock. And some are getting hotel rooms. Some are going to be staying here. Just making sure that we keep you updated. It's a big moment and you want to be a part of it, which is pretty cool. But I do hope that everyone is really, really comfortable in snow if you're going to venture out. That would be the only way that should be allowed. And honestly, I'm pretty good at driving in snow. I'm from Illinois. I love snow. It's beautiful, but not everybody is good in snow. And I'll say semi-drivers can drive a lot faster in snow, which then makes it difficult for everybody else. and can make it scary for some drivers that thought that they'd be okay. So just remember other people that are driving with you, and you may not want to be out on the roads with them. I know they've got a job to do, and it's important to get to and from where they need to go, so I don't mean anything by that, but a lot of times they're going a lot faster, and you've got that really slow car that can lead to some major scary issues. But we will keep you updated. Thanks again for joining me. Have a great Friday, hopefully a good cozy weekend, and we will be back soon with more.